Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Barakatom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to you Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Raya with another video, and I'm going to start it out with Psalm chapter 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb, and we know who this wicked is. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the border of wickedness in Malachi 1 and 4, whom the earth has been given into the hands of in Job 9 and 24. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And a brother in the camp made a beautiful statement. How do you know when a white person's lying? When they're moving their lips. And all throughout your history, that's what you Edomites have been mainly known for, using lies and deceptions to get what you want. And we can see modern day examples of that with you lying on Venezuela to go to war with them, as well as the lies you said about Saddam Hussein in Iraq to go to war with Iraq. And you're doing similar things now to try to go to war with Iran, which there will be a war with Iran because it's all a part of biblical prophecy. But now I'm going to go to this article on ZeroHedge.com titled, U.S. now views Iran's Qasem Soleimani as equivalent to ISIS leader, says Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. And this is a similar playbook that the U.S. used when justifying going to war with Iraq and Saddam Hussein. During remarks early this week in a Fox News interview following Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, being formally designated by the United States as a foreign terrorist organization, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo confirmed that the U.S. will view Iran's elite force just as it does ISIS. Specifically, Pompeo agreed that the commander of Iran's elite Quds forces, Major General Qasem Soleimani, is a terrorist on the level of ISIS leader as well as CIA asset Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi during a Fox News interview on Monday, because you have to remember, ISIS and Al-Qaeda are just proxy mercenary armies used by the United States and Israel to justify going to war with nations that they're in, saying that we're fighting terrorism when they're really just there to steal resources and set up puppet governments that follow their dictates. Fox's Brett Baer posed the question to the Secretary of State. The head of the IRGC, this man Qasem Soleimani, is by all accounts a bad character and has led all kinds of attacks. But are you saying that he is now equated to, let's say, the head of ISIS, al-Baghdadi, in U.S. policy perspective? Responding to whether Soleimani is now equated to a notorious caliphate head al-Baghdadi, Pompeo affirmed, yeah, he is a terrorist. And now I'm going to go to this article on wikipedia.org. Saddam Hussein and Al-Qaeda link allegations. And as we'll see, the U.S. tried to link Saddam Hussein to Al-Qaeda to further justify going to war with Iraq. Saddam Hussein and Al-Qaeda link allegations were made by the U.S. government officials who claimed that a highly secretive relationship existed between Iraq President Saddam Hussein and the radical Islamist militant organization Al-Qaeda between 1992 and 2003, specifically through a series of meetings reportedly involving the Iraqi intelligence service. In the lead-up to the Iraq War, U.S. President George W. Bush alleged that Saddam Hussein and Al-Qaeda might conspire to launch terrorist attacks on the United States, basing the administration's rationale for war in part on this allegation and others. The consensus of intelligence experts has been that these contacts never led to any operational relationship, and that consensus is backed up by reports from the independent 9/11 Commission and by declassified Defense Department reports, as well as by the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, whose 2006 report of Phase 2 of its investigation into pre-war intelligence reports concluded that there was no evidence of ties between Saddam Hussein and Al-Qaeda. Critics of the Bush administration have said Bush was intentionally building a case for war with Iraq without regard to factual evidence. On April 29, 2007, former Director of Central Intelligence George Tenet said on 60 Minutes, "We could never verify that there was any Iraqi authority, direction, and control complicitly with Al-Qaeda for 9/11 of any operational act against America, period. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go forth speaking lies as soon as they be born." As we just read, the U.S. Tried to come up with false allegations that Saddam Hussein was linked to Al-Qaeda to further justify that war with Iraq, which completely wrecked that country, and that country is still in a state of turmoil. And now you've got the U.S. Comparing Qasem Soleimani and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard to ISIS, calling them a terrorist organization to further justify a war with Iran. And what's also interesting is that, let me find that article. I should have pulled it up before. This is an article from antiwar.com. Seeking legal cover for war, Trump administration attempts to tie Iran to Al-Qaeda. So not only are they trying to refer to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization like ISIS, but we've also got the U.S. also trying to tie Iran to Al-Qaeda, just like they tied Saddam to Al-Qaeda to further justify that war. Dominated by those hawkish against Iran, the Trump administration has a sizable contingent that has been itching to start a war with Iran. It is a big enough concern that Congress has let this inform the language of bills. Again, can't stress it enough. The wicked, the Edomites, are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And with the U.S. trying to label the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization equivalent to ISIS, guess who's cheerleading for this decision and is very happy about it? This is another article on ZeroHedge.com. Buchanan fears where Trump's and Bibi's interest clash. You've got Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister of the state of Israel, who's happy that the U.S. has labeled the IRGC as a terrorist organization. On Monday, President Donald Trump designated the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization, the first time the United States has designated part of another nation's government as such a threat. Iran's Supreme National Security Council responded by declaring U.S. Central Command a terrorist group. With 5,000 U.S. troops in Iraq and 2,000 in Syria, often in proximity to Iranian units, this inches America closer to war, which there will be a war, that battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Why did we do it? What benefit did the U.S. derive? How do we now negotiate with the IRGC on missile tests? Israel's Bibi Netanyahu took credit for Trump's